So have you ever wanted a He-Man or a Skeletor, but done in the style of Stretch Armstrong? Well, you guys might just be in luck. Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is just some of that out there crazy toy news that was brought to my attention, and I just felt the need to make a video to talk about it. I want to give a very special thanks to Twitter follower Pulley Blue Nose for bringing this to my attention. It looks like we may be getting He-Man and Skeletor done in Stretch Armstrong style. And I know that sounds really strange. So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit and discuss these potential new toys. So I'm not exactly sure where these pictures originated from. I don't believe these are Pulley Blue Nose's pictures specifically. They're kind of floating around on Twitter, but I couldn't trace them back to an actual source, which I always kind of hate bringing this stuff up if I don't know the source, so I apologize. If these are your pictures, tell me. I'll make sure you guys get proper credit. But it looks like these pictures come from some sort of a licensing event or a show of some sort. These don't look like they're actually in the public. In fact, in the He-Man picture, I can see one of those little no photography things. So, countdown to this video getting removed. I guess. We'll see how that goes. But this is really interesting stuff. So there's a box for a Stretch Armstrong style Skeletor and a Stretch Armstrong style He-Man there. There's really no other details aside from that. But what I can say from looking at this is this does appear to be within the same toy line, the same line of Stretch Armstrong figures that have been recently produced by the company Character Options out of the UK. This is interesting stuff because that probably means that both He-Man and Skeletor here are going to be UK exclusives, because so far all of these other Stretch Armstrong figures that Character Options has produced have only been released over there. In the US specifically, and I don't know exactly how the ownership of all this goes, but Hasbro has the license and I think owns Stretch Armstrong. I think Hasbro owns Stretch Armstrong. But they were releasing Stretch Armstrong toys here in the US. Specifically, there was a brand new cartoon series on Netflix. They did a whole line for that. But all of these classic style Stretch Armstrong toys have been released mostly by Character Options over in the UK. We did get one retro Stretch Armstrong figure here in the US a couple years ago that was put out by Jazzwares under license from Hasbro. But Character Options has put out a whole line of Stretch Armstrong figures. And I actually did a review of some of the ones I picked up that I had to import. I actually used Amazon and just bought them off there. But they did a whole line of very cool. They did like Batman and the Stretch Monster and a bunch of really cool retro ones. But they've also done some licensed stuff. Specifically, recently they did WWE Stretch Armstrong figures. And the packaging looks very similar to what we see here with He-Man and Skeletor. And those were only released in the UK. So that is kind of what's drawing me to the conclusion that He-Man and Skeletor here are probably from that same company and are strongly, I'm guessing, only going to be released over in the UK with the rest of Character Option stuff. Now, that doesn't mean we won't be able to find a way to buy them, because like I said, you can get on Amazon and you can find the WWE ones. You might pay a little bit because you're importing them, if you're in the US, of course, or I guess anywhere outside of the UK, but they're there. You can find them. Same with the regular Stretch Armstrong figures that I did a review of. So I think we'll probably see them there. Now, of course, there's no release information. This very well could be one of those things where they're showing off, but haven't actually been solicited or anything yet. We don't know. This is also just really interesting news just because of everything that's been going on with the Masters of the Universe licensing lately. I mean, I've already made videos talking about, with what's going on, and Mattel's doing San Diego stuff, and Super 7's had the license for all these years, and while novelty stuff like Stretch Armstrong toys would be different, it's still really interesting that Mattel licensed that out for something so weird, for something so niche, for an outside of the US release. So it's really interesting stuff, and that's why I thought it was interesting to bring up as a topic to discuss. I don't know, I love weird stuff like this. Sometimes, well, let's be real, licensing is confusing as heck. I can't even pretend to understand how this works half the time. All I can do is make these videos and kind of talk out loud with you guys and just tell you what I'm thinking with all of this. But sometimes I find this totally fascinating too. I love Stretch Armstrong toys. It's just one of those cool like vintage toys that I think is a lot of fun. I will pick these up if I have a chance to, just because I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. But what about you guys? What do you think of this weird, wacky news? Is this just totally out of left field, or am I crazy? Is this something you think you would buy, or do you think that's just a little too weird for you? Feel free to let me know down in the comments, or hey, if you have more information on this, I am open to hearing it. I would love to be able to expand on this and let people know what exactly is going on here. So thank you guys so much for watching this weird, fun little toy news update. You know what to do. Subscribe, all that good stuff. San Diego Comic-Con's coming up. I should have lots of toy news once we get going with that. Until next time, my friends.